In this episode, we have fun in the dirt at DirtFish and with the Northwest Rally Association. I'm not sure the Granada's going to survive this. Can we feed Marvin the Granada some cones? Num 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 num. Here we are, it's race day morning. The cars are mostly ready to go, maybe? I don't know. They run and drive and stop, so good enough. One of my GoPro mounts that I had, so I've been putting in the Celica, was broken, so I had to glue it last night. Hopefully it holds, hopefully I can get it set up in time. Before we go too much farther, I want to talk about the Northwest Rally Association and mod racing. Katie and Keto are the co-owners and founders of Northwest Rally Association and Mod Racing. In addition to running a business and hosting great events, they have a podcast and a YouTube channel with a focus on helping drivers of all motorsports continuously improve. I have been involved with motorsports for decades, and out of all the track owners, promoters, and organizations I have dealt with, Katie and Keto and their team have been the best by a wide margin. They are both extremely professional, helpful, and knowledgeable. These two amazing people provide the leadership to an amazing organization. If anyone in the Pacific Northwest is looking at trying Rallycross, I would highly recommend checking the schedule for the Northwest Rally Association. Also, if you're interested in getting into motorsports or are already involved, check out their YouTube channel, Mod Racing, for fantastic tips and tricks to develop yourself in motorsports. I've watched several of these videos. I haven't seen all of them yet. I'm going to leave a link to some of my favorites down in the description, but it's definitely worth checking out. Alright, with that out of the way, let's look at some of the competition I was in the prepared rear-wheel drive class with. There was this awesome Toyota pickup, and there's also a Nissan pickup. There's also a couple of BMWs and a Miata. Before you actually start racing, you get a parade lap around the track, so you have a few minutes to learn the course before you're racing on it. And if you get there early enough, they definitely recommend getting there early enough so that you can walk the course and memorize kind of where you're going. That was kind of a tight chicane there. There's another tight corner here you got to slow down. I had to slow way down for. Cones set up here for like a chicane. Every time I went through here, I don't think I let off other than the first time. I thought for sure I took out that left-hand cone on the second row of cones every time I went through there. That was a pretty tight corner there. You go through the gate. You're coming up here. I was in third gear coming up to here, and then it was slowed down, and this corner was pretty rough and gravelly, so there was not a lot of grip. I had a lot of axle hop through this corner here. Now this was the first time around course one. You can see the sun and the glare and the dust on the windshield. That was one of the things that was brought up, was making sure you bring plenty of glass cleaner to clean the windows, at least the windshield and front windows after each run. And you can see this, I haven't even been on the track yet. This is just a parade lap. There's already dust on the windshield, and the sun bounces off of it, makes it hard to see. So just if you're planning on doing something like this, make sure you bring glass cleaner. You clean the windows after each run. There is a set of 3 cones up here. You make a left-hand corner, you go to the outside, then the inside to the outside. This corner got me every time. I came up to that. I had a marker of there's a cone on the outside of the track. There's actually several of them, and I had a visual image of which one I needed to turn in at, and I missed it every time. And I actually, you'll see in the video later, I actually hit that cone. Parade lap is a good time to start thinking ahead. Do I want to be on the left of the track, the right of the track, or in the middle? What's coming up next? How can I make the best advantage of the next straightaway? How can I make the corner straighter? How fast should I go? How slow should I go? This is the time to start thinking about and coming up with a plan. But what I found was when you're actually racing on this track, it looks a lot different than during a parade lap. It's real easy to miss things, and it gets real hairy really quick. So Marvin the Granada has some kind of crazy rattle in the back of it. I thought gluing in the back window would have helped that. I know the all the windows, the side windows rattle a bit because the tracks are worn out. But there's something in the back. It's not the spare tire. I have no idea what it is, but it was driving me insane. And what made me just as crazy was there's really nothing I could do about it other than just live with it and move on. That's the end of my slow run, but there were some guys there that really had some incredible machines and really knew how to use them. Here's a few clips of those. That was the end of course 1. Now it's on to course 2. We got 3 runs on each course. I'm not going to bore you with all 3 runs. But course 2 was a lot more challenging than the first one. You start off, there's this long straightaway on asphalt, and then you come up to this sharp left-hander with a 180-degree right-hander. And watch what happens to this truck in front of me. The four-wheel drive pickups had some problems with that corner at the end of the straightaway. So he actually realized he wasn't going to make the corner without hitting the cone, had to stop, back up to make that corner. And I had a really problem with it too, with the longer wheelbase Granada. I was not sure I was going to make it around the corner either. The only way I could make it around that corner was to turn the wheel and dump the clutch, spin the tires, and flip the car around. And then usually I was spinning the tires all the way down the straightaway here, all the way up into this right-hander. While I was in line waiting to come out for the parade lap, I noticed there was some oil leaking under the car. I looked under there thinking maybe I'd poked a hole in the engine pan, maybe it sprung a leak, but it was actually the right front shock that had oil just pouring out of it. It was completely blown. So that left-hand corner there, in fact, anytime I turned left, all the weight would transfer to the front, especially the right front. And so the car would turn left and turn right differently because of the weight transfer. The left shock, I'm sure, was bad too, but the right one was completely blown out. It really added a new level of challenge when driving this car, especially through here, through the slalom course, because the car would just roll, especially over onto the right side. Another tight corner here, this right-hander, and then the gravel would get loose too, which made the car push. So again, I would have to pop the clutch, rev up the engine, and dump the clutch, spin the tires to get around this right-hander. Then there's a left-hander, you go through a gate. Then there's a long sweeping left-hand corner, which again, the gravel, I had problems with the ruts and the car just not wanting to turn, or having to slow down quite a bit, or dump the clutch and spin the tires to get around a lot of these corners. Glad we did this parade lap too. I had walked both courses in the morning, but this was several hours later now, after lunch, that I'm after. This was the last session of the day that I'm actually driving on it, and I'll be darned if I didn't forget which way to go the cone was. So this was a good refresher, this parade lap, of remembering how the course goes and where we go to follow it. That was the end of the parade lap. Next we went back, you go back into the warehouse and waited for our turn to actually come up on the track. And then finally got our turn to race. And as I'm pulling up to the line, I'm still really not 100% secure on my knowledge of the course, where it goes and how to go. So it was still a bit of a learning curve, at least the first trip around.
around the track. It actually ended up not being as hard as I thought it was going to be. But coming up next, there's a couple of clips on some bloopers, some errors I made while driving. I was a bit conservative up here. There's a concrete pad with some dirt on it. It gets real slick when there's dirt on it. Well, this time I decided at the last run of the day I was going to go for it. And as soon as the tires hit that concrete, the car spun out right out from under me faster than I had time to catch it. You can see I took out a cone there with the left rear of the car. Here's one I came in and started to initiate a slide and way too early. Just about took out another cone. And this last one, I just fed Marvin another cone there. I mean, just right over the top of it. I was in the middle of a slide. I wasn't going to let up. I was just going to keep going. So it was overall, it was a great day, a lot of fun. My camera crew had to celebrate too. Even though I didn't win, I felt like I just won a marathon. My camera crew, it was a long, hot day at the end of the day. I'd like to thank Mod Racing as well as the Northwest Rally Association. This guy in the green shirt, I couldn't remember his name, but he was one of the workers directing people on the track. Absolutely an awesome guy. A fantastic guy. The whole organization, I cannot say enough about him. And of course, you got to celebrate. So there's the final results. I came in 5th out of 6 cars. I had a great time. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time.